This is episode 2 in our Think Sheet, The Real World, Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow. Playlist number 10, Think Sheet Network, Stock Options, Incentives, Ground Floor Valuation. Entitled, The Massive New PI plus AI Media Market. Featuring new market growth, Bill Gurley's #1 criteria for 10 times Revenue Club valuation, making Think Sheet easier to sell and monetize, and giving your stock options, ground floor valuations, with huge upside potential, primarily for introductions to users and strategic partners. The market size is based on the unique power of ThinkSheets to synthesize and simplify professional and artificial intelligence for all users worldwide, making decisions that involve complex qualitative factors. Abbreviated to PI plus AI. The size of the ThinkSheet new media market is the foundation for the all-important smartphone analogy video.
90% of the information transmitted to the brain is visual, and ThinkSheet's visual intelligence platform visualizes whatever users consider most important, enabling them to quantify their thought process, like the Morgan Stanley analyst, and see the reasons for their target prices as a visual story like Bloomberg uses. To story, score, and see their thought process, i.e., to ThinkSheet it.
Bloomberg users can see the reasons for this target price forecast for Tesla in our target price app on the Bloomberg app portal, and the reasons why. You can see lots of examples and videos, and our team will walk you through demos in person with data like this Bloomberg data for Tesla. This is the view of the qualitative ranking for a tech portfolio in TST Portfolio Ranking app. Bloomberg TV hosts can use our apps for interviews. Emily Chang with Chris Miller to get his opinion how the chip war will impact the scores and rankings for Apple, Amazon, Tesla, and the other stocks in the portfolio. Also for televised debates like Stephen Roach and Jim Chanos during the financial crisis with current updates. This model compares the soft versus hard landing scenarios for China relative to 6 other global economies. Roach ranks China second with an 89% score and Chanos 7th and last at -100. Hosts Roach and Chanos and audience will all play what if and see the answer and reasons why in real time and retain the visual story in memory more accurately and far longer than without ThinkSheet.
I can't wait to see ThinkSheet models on CNBC and Bloomberg for interviews with Tim Cook and Mark Benioff. Using Kramer's version of ThinkSheet's US-China EU qualitative model I use so I can compare my thinking with his. The Morgan Stanley analysts can use their models as framework for interviews, plus distribute their complete ThinkSheet models to clients like me so I can access them from the web. Like Tony Saraganacci, a top Wall Street analyst who covers Apple and Tesla, my 2 bellwether stocks.
Bob?
3 analogies describe ThinkSheet's huge upside. First, MS-DOS, when Bill Gates declared it good enough to go to market 41 years ago without a graphical user interface because it was unique with no competition at the time. Financial upside analogy is to ground floor stock options in Microsoft years before the introduction of Windows and their IPO. The IBM Watson Google AI analogy is that Larry Page and Sergey Brin's light bulb was to sequence human intelligence first and then artificial intelligence to steal the market from Alta Vista. And ThinkSheet using similar sequence with professional intelligence first and then artificial intelligence. The smartphone analogy is an 11-minute video by a tech strategist with unique knowledge of ThinkSheet and all other decision software commercially available in the market today. He sits on the tech council of one of the largest financial service firms in the world, whose mission is to identify the most important disruptive technologies for the company to adopt over the next 5 years. He explains why ThinkSheet is a disruptive technology and a must-buy for his company in the video.
These are the ThinkSheet new media use cases by category and examples. Zoom meetings, podcasts, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, The Economist, earnings calls, Apple, Tesla, and JP Morgan, books, The Chip War by Chris Miller, news, Bloomberg, Reuters, CNBC, and Wall Street Journal, documentaries, Paris to Pittsburgh for climate change, education, business, law, medicine, and psychology, gaming and social media, wargaming and TikTok, and finally, conferences like Davos and Bloomberg New Economy. ThinkSheet sources and uses include the thought leaders create original content, and ThinkSheet users create ThinkSheet output. Users include thought leaders and ThinkSheet teams, network, and users. To leverage the ThinkSheet IP, our team goes first to our internal sources and assets, like our 200 plus PI models, 100 plus videos, and our unique qualitative library of modules, metrics, photos, maps, and images. ThinkSheet authors like Mervyn King, Henry Kissinger, Nassim Taleb, Daniel Yergin, and Hank Paulson, for specific use cases as well as general use. David Darst, The Art of Asset Allocation, has been our number one source for two reasons. First, his book covers all asset classes, and second, he includes visual frameworks for modeling them, like worksheets and matrices, minimizing the time and cost to ThinkSheet them. Based on my experience developing the privatization program for the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, we specialize in modeling human psychology and behavior, the number one driver of the real world. Chris?
Morgan Stanley wrote in its 7th publication, Outright, that the ranking employs ThinkSheet software to quantify our thought process and rescales all of our inputs via algorithms for mathematical comparability. That is what I want, the thought process and answer as a set of scores in a ThinkSheet model that is easy for me to understand and remember. Jamie Dimon's 66-page letter to shareholders on April 4th of this year became the foundation for ThinkSheet business resiliency use case. Updates to his thought process are available in frequent news reports and interviews. Think about the value of ThinkSheet documentaries in which directors synthesize and simplify the main takeaways and lessons learned for the documentary as a whole. In ThinkSheet models and hover notes, as well as events and decisions as they evolve along the way. Nothing matches the power of ThinkSheet visual stories to synthesize and simplify key takeaways and lessons learned. Illustrated in this China soft versus hard landing model, enabling users to retain in memory the answers and reasons why far better and longer than without ThinkSheet, and to recognize and reapply relevant patterns for new decisions. Same with Walter Isaac's video podcasts.
Education, like the CASE method, the best practice for decision-making taught in business, law, and medical school, and the second nature to millions of professionals worldwide. ThinkSheet's core methodology is case-based reasoning, the quantification of the CASE method, and that, we believe, provides indisputable proof that ThinkSheet users can model virtually any complex decision process in their real world, and when combined with their existing tools, provide the world's decision makers with the most valuable decision and collaboration tools in the world. One day, the phrase ThinkSheet it will become the standard for synthesizing and simplifying users' thought processes for their most complex and important decisions, like Google it for search.
Bob?
In conclusion, ThinkSheet will be a disruptive technology for the mammoth new PI and AI media market because of its innovation and impact, like the introduction of the smartphone in 2007. Its sequential approach of professional intelligence first and AI second, like Google with human intelligence first and then AI, and ThinkSheet is good enough now because there is no competition like MS-DOS in 1981. With Microsoft stock dramatically increasing in value with visual additions like GUIs, Windows, Office, YouTube, TikTok, and podcasts.
Our ground floor options will have great value if ThinkSheet's valuation reaches 50 to 100 million or even more.
The size of the new market gives us a real shot at it.